another preview of another epic quarter-final matchup that is going to be box office. New Zealand against Ireland. Do you know one thing? I was just having a look at the teams that played in Tokyo 4 years ago, and the last time they met in a World Cup at the quarter-final stage. On that occasion, it was an absolute beatdown for New Zealand. What did they win? Like 40-odd points to, what was it? 46-14. I was having a look at the teams and I was surprised just how many players that started that day and that were in the squad that day are involved now. So on the New Zealand side of things, Beauden Barrett, Richie Mwanga were in the back line, Aaron Smith as well. So that's 3 of the back line were there. And Geordie Barrett was on the bench. So and in the pack, Brodie Retallick, Sam Whitelock, Scott Barrett was on the bench, Sam Kane, Ardie Savia, Cody Taylor, Nepo Laulala. It's a lot of the same personnel, and it's the same story with Ireland, who had Gary Ringrose, Robbie Henshaw, Johnny Sexton, Conor Murray, Josh van der Fleer, Peter O'Mahony, James Ryan, Ian Henderson, Tyg Furlong, Cian Healy, Tyg Byrne. So a lot of the personnel is the same. It's fascinating to chart how things have changed over 4 years, and particularly for Ireland, who got absolutely hammered that day. But there's no team, even New Zealand on their best day and Ireland on a poor day, you cannot imagine a scoreline like that again, because Ireland have built a resilience that is quite something. It's the mentality that's shifted with Ireland more than anything. And one of the measures of that, Peter O'Mahony's post-match interview after Scotland, I love the guy anyway, but his post-match interview on his 100th Test appearance, an incredible achievement for him for Ireland. And they just battered Scotland and got through to a quarter-final. He didn't smile once, and he was still fuming about what Scotland had said about how they were they had the plan, they were going to do Ireland. And that's all he mentioned, which, I mean, God love Peter O'Mahony, but that, I think, speaks volumes about the mentality. They're not here for anything other than winning a Rugby World Cup. So all the talk of the quarter-final curse and the pressure that's been piled on Ireland, I just do not see that being any sort of factor whatsoever. I don't think they feel any pressure or weight of expectation due to what Ireland teams have done in the past. I think they view themselves rightly as a completely different Ireland team. Despite, as I say, a lot of the personnel being the same, they're a very, very different beast to any Ireland team that has come before. And the way they went about their business in Paris at the weekend, and I was privileged to be there, and for their South Africa game, something else. I've seen New Zealand play a couple of times at this Rugby World Cup as well, and they're very impressive. And their slickness of their attack play, the core skills of the individuals is really noticeable. It's ingrained into New Zealand players. And you know, I'm watching an England team that can't seem to pass the ball along a backline competently. Whereas you see New Zealand, just outrageous skill levels. It's fantastic to watch. However, the way I see this one going, and tell me what you think. And I'm framing it like this. So Ireland are the favourites. They are the #1 team in the world. They have looked imperious in this World Cup so far. So the question, I'm phrasing it this way, is how can New Zealand beat Ireland? If Ireland bring their A game, then I think if both teams bring their A game, Ireland win this. How can New Zealand flip the script? How can they change things? And I've just been talking about New Zealand's slick attack play. I personally think, tell me whether you agree, leave your comments, please. And while you're there, hit subscribe. I'm loving the support on the channel. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers, by the way, and if you're just finding me, which a lot of people are, because I haven't been doing this very long, and I've been blown away by the support and how quickly it's grown, and I want you on board as well. So hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. But I think New Zealand need to kick, and then kick, and then kick some more. It was noticeable watching Scotland against Ireland at the weekend. Scotland offered no kicking threat whatsoever. From minute one, they just tried to run it at and then around Ireland. They kept passing the ball. It was so naive. They didn't even take the kicks at points. If New Zealand get any opportunities to kick points. And they've got some great goal kickers. In fact, they've got like 4 really good goal kickers. So take the points when they're on offer. This is knockout rugby, and I'm sure they will. Scotland didn't. And they seem to be going for it from minute one. And it was so naive. And thing is, if you don't offer a kicking threat, then Ireland will, as they did against Scotland, flood the defensive line, fly up in your face, and you will get nowhere. Whereas New Zealand have got such good footballers. That's the beauty of their team. Will Jordan and Geordie Barrett and Richie Mwanga and Bowden Barrett, or D-Mac, who I might be tempted to start. That's just one thing I'm putting out there. I love how D-Mac is playing at the minute. I think Bowden Barrett will start and D-Mac will be on the bench. But I would have a strong temptation, as I think I mentioned on a previous video, to start D-Mac. But you've got an Aaron Smith as well. You've got like 5 fantastic footballers in your back line with a great kicking game. And I think New Zealand have to kick a lot, and they have to kick with huge variety to just try and pull Ireland into different positions. Try and make James Lowe and Mac Hansen drop back, or make them hesitant about running up really quick because they're worried about a little chip kick. And if you remember, when New Zealand absolutely smashed South Africa to start the Rugby Championship, that's what they did. And I'm absolutely certain that is what you're going to see from New Zealand. You're going to see them kick a lot and kick with great variety, the crossfield kicks, the little chips, the little dinks. Bowden Barrett out the back from Richie Mwanga and crossfield wiper kicks, Geordie Barrett launching it. I think you're going to see a lot of that, and I think that's what you have to do. Ireland, I'm sure, will probably, this is where it becomes a game of chess, Ireland are probably sat there going, New Zealand look best when they kick with real variety, so we need to be prepared for that, and they'll already have a plan for how to counter that New Zealand are going to do that. It's so fascinating to look at. The amazing thing about Ireland and their attacking shape and their attacking structure is you know what they're going to do. They're going to run the decoy runner. Johnny Sexton's going to do the wrap around and take the ball, hit one of his runners there. And even though you know what's coming, you cannot stop it. And that's because Ireland are so, and the word, it's become a cliche now, I'm going to use it again, cohesion. Ding, I'll put a little penny in the jar every time I use the word cohesion. If I got a penny for every time it's been used by just pundits and people in general, I'd be a millionaire. I'd be able to afford a place like this in Marseille rather than just be lent it for a couple of days by one of the viewers on the channel, which I explain at the end of the England video if you're curious why I'm here and how I'm here. At the end of the video previewing England v Fiji, I talk about how I came to be here. But anyway, yeah. Ireland have got a plan and they execute. And when they do, it's almost impossible to stop. South Africa managed to shut it down quite a lot. And the way they did that is with the most aggressive defensive line that I've seen. The way South Africa shut down Scotland and then almost shut down Ireland, and probably will say that they should have won the game, was amazing. Have New Zealand got that defensive performance in them? I think Shannon Frizzell is massive. One of the most important men on the field. And he showed what they were missing when they played last week. And I think on both sides of the game, punching holes and defensively, he's absolutely massive for New Zealand. Cannot be underlined. I see, this is where it's interesting, because New Zealand's players are as good as any in the world, just in terms of pure skills. But I'm not sure their pack is quite at the level it needs to be. And that's more individually they're decent. Maybe front row you could say they're not quite at the level. It's a big question mark. Lomax and De Groot haven't seen a lot in this World Cup due to injuries. That's a big question mark there. They changed the picture quite a lot. There's something about it just doesn't quite feel at the level. And I hate being cruel like this because he's a lovely bloke, but just when you look at Sam Cane, can you see him being a guy that's lifting a Rugby World Cup trophy? I'm not sure I can see it. It's quite similar to the Owen Farrell situation with England. great bloke, incredible player. Would it be better for the team if he wasn't captain so that the coach wasn't tied to having to pick him? And at least then if he was picked, it was purely 100% and only for the right reason and not because the coach has backed themselves into a corner. Johnny Sexton, I can imagine him lifting a Rugby World Cup trophy. For that reason, that's where I kind of edge. And I think, actually, if you just purely had all 46 guys on a training paddock and you just took them through their paces, you'd probably say that New Zealand have more talent in their ranks. But Ireland are better than the sum of their parts. And that's what makes them such a formidable and special rugby team. And why I think they will come through and win. Why they are, I think, justifiably favourites for this one. But I think New Zealand will be relishing the underdogs tag because they've got players who, when they feel like people have written them off, they'll just come out and show them why they are world-class individuals. And a team with Ardie Savea and Aaron Smith and Bowden Barrett or DMAC, Brodie Retallick, that's a serious rugby team right there. Cannot wait. I see this going Ireland's way. Tell me what you think. Tell me where you think this will be won. And do you agree that New Zealand have to kick the ball and then kick the ball some more when they've stopped? And then when they think they've kicked it enough, kick it a bit more. Might not be the most exciting game plan, but I think it might be the one to beat Ireland. I'd love to know what you think. Leave your comments. Hit subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.